It was fun to write with Al on lyrics collaboratively. There was one set of lyrics from me, and then Al would write the second set, or Al would write the first set, and I'd write the second set. So it is kind of like two lines, or sort of like two trains running. We kind of don't necessarily counterpoint each other, but we almost kind of layer on these different elements of one kind of character. I think in this song, we were very curious about the mental gymnastics necessary to be an ignorant, privileged person in the ways that we all do it. I mean, I certainly give myself a break when I don't really deserve it just because it makes me feel good. And I think that this song is taking that idea and turning it into a rock song. There's a very specific kind of character that you run into in left-wing circles, like the circles that we run in, where there's people who are very invested in performing activism and performing this kind of like performing knowledge and rationality, where you want to pose like you've read the theory, you want to pose like you've thought the thoughts, but you really don't do that, you just know what it looks like. And I think that that's a really dangerous way to interact with ideas, and it helps us kind of generate a really horrifying idea to me, which is the marketplace of ideas, which I think is sort of something that we're doing with the ethos of products, and that it's, we live in a society where ideas aren't necessarily desirable because of their nuance or how thorough they are, but how attractive they are to attach to your identity and to accrue social capital. I think that this song is kind of like critiquing the person who maybe voted for Jacob Frye and walks along the beautiful lakes in Minneapolis and thinks, what a progressive, amazing, liberal city, while rejecting that we have one of the worst achievement gaps in the country, rejecting the racial disparity, rejecting the disparity between the population, who maybe grew up here and the immigrant population that lives here now. There's all these tensions that are very easy to ignore when the Atlantic says that your city is great.
Gentrification.
Yeah, exactly.
And you hear the language around it too, where it's like, oh, that used to be a sketchy part of town or something.
And what you really mean is that
it's very
there's more white people there, so you're cool with it?
Yeah. You feel more comfortable.
That's always what that means.
So and I mean, I would echo all of those sentiments around the song. It wasn't as lyrically collaborative, even though we kind of wrote one line and then another. I felt like there were, like two specific trains of thought that just kind of naturally complement each other. A lot of it is kind of like talking about like new developments going up in a city, but new developments for a specific group of people. We kind of picked a few words we wanted to use thematically as we wrote the song, and like intersectionality was one of those in all of its possible meanings, whether that is like identity or also the way that like building out a city intersects. You're literally building out streets or developing
Tunnels.
And kind of how those two ideas can kind of complement each other in that for all the careful planning and presenting that you can do, ultimately you might get to a place where you're like, who came up with this idea, or there's nothing there. It's like sometimes there's like a staircase to nothing that you'll find in a basement or something like that, because it's been built over. And I think that works in a lot of ways with how people sometimes present their maybe political ideas too, is it's like you're standing at the base of a staircase like, yeah, I can walk up this entire thing and like I know the whole deal. And then it's like, all right, let's walk up it together and quickly find that it's just for show.